This is day one of an action-packed 2 days plus a roundtable with 34 leaders from across Canada, the US, the UK, and Africa. Now, our next guest coming up is an amazing woman. She has actually spoken on our stages before. So if you attended the Lead with Purpose conference last June, you'll have had the opportunity to meet Debra Poneman in person. Now, she is one of the, I'd have to say, she trailblazed the whole transformative journey. She's been in the business for over 35 years, and she's said yes to being a part of the Success Summit. She talks about yes to success. So it's been a real journey getting to this point here. I'll just give you a little background here while Debra's getting set. She says she's dancing in the background. So Debra Poneman is launching her Yes to Success. Now, she's not just launching it on a small scale, she is launching it on a global scale. So she's between 2 days of a global launch, and because she believes so strongly in helping and serving female entrepreneurs, she says, Monica, she goes, count me in. Just let me know where I need to step in and where I can help support. So I'm super excited. We're just waiting for Debra. She's just logging right now. So let's just check and make sure if she's still dancing or if she's coming on the stage. We'll just ready to go, just dancing. Okay, let's just make sure that she's in the right room. She said she's dancing and I can't see her dancing. So I'm gonna check with this is what happens when we go live. So we're gonna send her a note. So let's send Debra a note to see where she's dancing. Hello, everyone. And so we are live, and this is what happens when you're live is let me explain what's going on here. So we have 2 rooms. We have actually 7 laptops to make this happen. We are really trailblazing to move the Success Summit from a live event to a virtual event. And I want all the bells and whistles that we had before for our live events to make that user experience so great. So what happens is we have 2 separate rooms and 2 separate links. And Debra was dancing in the audience. She said, "I'm here dancing." I'm like, "You're dancing, but I can't see you. I can see you now. I can see you now." So this is super great. I'm super excited again to introduce Debra Poneman. So I'm going to give you the formal introduction, Debra. Best-selling author, Yes to Success Seminars. Debra Poneman is the founder of Yes to Success Seminars. She has shared her system, now used by tens of thousands of people in every corner of the globe, to create lives of not only success and abundance, but deeply profound happiness. And I do say happiness because, Debra, you bring joy to everything that you do. Self-love and lasting inner fulfillment. Known as a mentor to the mentors, Debra's students have used her teachings to become mega successful entrepreneurs. And I know one that I'm going to mention. Renowned transformational leaders and New York Times best-selling authors, millionaires, billionaires, and even household names. And as I mentioned before, Debra is right in it. And she's taken this opportunity to launch Yes for Success 2020. You were doing this live, Debra, so welcome.
Thank you. I was having such a good time dancing, and then I heard you introducing me, and I'm like smiling and thinking I'm coming on any second. Then you're like, "Debra, where are you?" I'm like, ah! I click on the dancing link.
You were in the right place, my friend, and I'm super excited that you're taking this time. I know that you're pivoting like crazy, and you're not just taking a little opportunity to launch, you're taking a global launching opportunity. So thank you for carving out the space to be here with us today to support female entrepreneurs. And I was sharing that you know the world of entrepreneurship. You carve that space and you go. So I'm going to just zip it and I'm going to turn the stage over to you. Welcome.
Thank you, sweetheart. And Monica, anytime you ask me to do anything, I'm always a yes, because you talk about a trailblazer and you have that never say die attitude. You are a champion for women. You're a champion for world change. You're a champion for men who support women. You're just a champion. And I admire you so much. So thank you for inviting me. Really and truly. So I'll dive in because I know I took up some of my time dancing. So when Monica asked me, welcome, hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be with you. And I want to say that when Monica asked me to be a part of the summit and to speak about what I feel are the most important keys to women flourishing in business and life, especially at this time when our world is in crisis, perhaps a little bit more down here in the States than in Canada. Don't even get me going. I thought, what can I offer? There are so many illustrious women, accomplished women over these next 2 days. And I thought, what can I offer that will really make a difference in their lives? And I thought, well, success is a topic I've been speaking about all over the world for 40 years. So I'll pick 2 principles that I feel that have contributed to my own success. I'm going to talk really fast because I want to squeeze it all in. And one principle applies to everybody, and one exclusively has to do with being a woman in a man's world. So by way of introduction, one of the things that Monica didn't mention in her intro was that because it wasn't in it, which I wrote about myself, was that I started my company in 1980, and then I gave it all up at the height of my success, okay? I was established in 12 major cities. I had reps all over the world. I was about to launch my own daytime TV talk show. I had 2 New York publishers looking at my book. I had the first infomercial in the history of infomercials to offer a self-improvement product, and I left because I taught that one of the main keys to success was authenticity. And I believe that everybody has an authenticity meter now more than ever. And if somebody is up on the stage teaching one thing and they're living another, we can smell that inauthenticity a mile away. You with me? Right? Hello. So what I taught people was to follow their heart. And what happened was I had a baby. And I took one look at that little girl and I thought, oh, new passion. And I thought, I don't want to leave her to go to the bathroom, let alone leave her to go on a book tour, or leave her to tape a show at 5:30 every morning, or leave her to go to Singapore, which is the next place I was supposed to do a group of seminars. So I called up the guy in Singapore and I said, his name is Chiang. I said, Chiang, you know what? I have to tell you, because he said, oh yeah, you had the baby. Let's get the tour on the books. I said, you're going to have to call me back in 18 years. And he still remembers I really said that, which turned into 21 years because my son was born 3 years later. And I gave up all of my studying, Napoleon Hill and Wallace Wattles and Emmett Fox and all those great masters of success. And I just completely surrendered to learning from my two new gurus who called me mom. So I'm going to share with you one of the things that I learned so much from both of them, but one of the things that I learned from my son has really changed my life. And here's the story. From the time that Daniel was little, well, he wasn't that little, but he was little, he loved basketball. Okay. He actually could shoot hoops before he could even stand. And as he got older, his love for basketball, when he was 5, all the other kids were having their birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese. He insisted that his was at Michael Jordan's restaurant. Okay. The other kids didn't know what hit them, but he wanted Michael Jordan's restaurant. Fast forward, he is in high school and he makes the A team, but he is literally the only white kid on the team, and decidedly white boys cannot jump. And he went to every single game and the varsity games, the junior varsity games, never got a moment of playing time. But he noticed that he had an eye for basketball talent. And he noticed that he could predict which of the kids and all of these teams around the city would get drafted by the best schools. So he started a business on the internet where he would do the scouting reports, and he would tell the college coaches what high school kids to look at to recruit. Well, he became known, as a matter of fact, when he was 16, there was a full-page article about him in Sports Illustrated called Why College Hoops Coaches Seek the Advice of a 16-Year-Old Scout. But that wasn't good enough for Daniel, because when he was 17, he realized that the really good kids that were going to go to Division I schools, they were going to get scholarships anyway. But what he saw was that the Division II kids were being lost under the radar. So he decided that he was going to put on showcases and invite coaches from junior colleges, Division II schools from all over the country and help those kids get scholarships. Well, I'll make a long story short. That was 10 years ago, and he has now generated over 50 million US dollars in scholarships for the kids in the inner city of Chicago. Now, what did I learn from him? Well, while he was building this business, and it's a nonprofit, it's called Shot in the Dark Foundation. While he's building this business, generating millions of dollars in scholarships, he wouldn't take a penny for himself. And I would say to him, Daniel, isn't there some way that you can make some money for yourself? Just some way. And he'd say, Mom, just be patient. Trust me. I'm building relationship capital. And I said, okay, Daniel, I trust you. You're building relationship capital. He says, you just give because you want to give. You don't give because you're expecting anything in return. But the bonus is you have relationship capital. So I'm like, okay. And then, more months would pass and I'm going, I'd like this relationship capital, but maybe a little bit of money. Mom, really, you just have to trust me. Okay. Well, fast forward, Daniel decided that he wanted to make a movie on what it's like growing up in the hood in Chicago and how basketball is the only way out for many of these kids. And one of the people who he had built relationship capital with gave him $400,000 to make his movie, which then was nominated for an Emmy Award for Best Long Form Sports Documentary. Then all of these kids, they go on, they're in the NBA, they send their private jets to pick him up and fly him out to the games, and he sips champagne and eats caviar on these private jets. And then he decides that he wants to start his own sports agency for NBA players and NFL players. And he approached one of these people who he had a relationship capital with, who gave him millions of dollars to start his own sports agency, which is called Beyond Athlete Management. But here's the clincher to the story. So one day I said to him, Daniel, you have helped me so much with this concept of relationship capital. And he says to me, Mom, what are you talking about? I said, relationship capital. He says, Mom, I learned it from you. You always taught in your seminars to treat everybody as the most important person in the world, because a person who's at the quote unquote bottom of the ladder one day could be at the top the next, and you'll need them to reach down and pull you up. And you always told me to not judge people by the color of their skin, by their age, by their gender, they could be old, young, black, white, gay, straight. They could have funny looking glasses. They could not know how to comb their hair. Don't judge them. Everybody is the most important person in the world. Treat them that way. And I always did that. And he says, and look what happened for you. And what happened for me, my story is, when I was giving a Yes to Success seminar, this little college student comes in, bouncing up and down, wants to leave graduate school and come and work for me. I treated her like the most important person in the world. I didn't look around the room to see if there was somebody more important to talk to. Don't ever do that to another human being, ever. So I gave her my full attention. She became my personal secretary, assistant, and she went on, when I was at home raising my kids, she went on to become the #1 New York Times all-time best-selling woman author in history, and that's Marcy Shimoff. 122 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list, millions and millions of chicken soup books. And when I came back after being at home with the kids for 20 years, who do you think got me my first speaking engagement? Who do you think invited me to become a partner in a new endeavor that she made that became an international phenomenon? So don't judge. If I judged her, like, what is this little college student going to do for me? Everybody has something to contribute. Do not judge. You never, ever know. So that's my first point that I want to make. And I have one more quick one, because I know that I used up my time dancing. But the other principle I promised that I would share is this. The need of the time is to move from a masculine-dominated leadership model and decision-making structure to a feminated, dominated paradigm. Unfortunately, we as women have never been shown how to lead as women, because not only have we grown up in a masculine-dominated culture, but throughout history, we've only seen what leadership looks like with men doing the leading. So now what we're seeing as women are moving into positions of leadership is that the minute a woman shows feminine qualities of empathy or compassion or leading with an open heart in business or politics, she's attacked. She's too soft. I saw that happening here in the States in 2016 with Hillary Clinton. Completely different standard. If she showed any kind of kindness or empathy, which is her natural tendency, boom, not fit to be our president. But it's our job to wean the world of thinking that only the masculine qualities can lead this world. Because the masculine qualities at best are things like, and this is scientifically proven, this is not sexist, that the masculine mind tends to be more analytical, and at worst, the masculine energy tends to need to be right at all costs, even if it means leading your country and the world to destruction. But here's where my take, and it might differ from others. I don't believe it always means men versus women. I believe the feminine, or some people call it the divine feminine, is an energy. It's not necessarily a gender, because many men I know embody the qualities of the divine feminine more than many of the women I know. Many men I know favor collaboration over competition, and a lot of women I know are very cutthroat. Many men favor win-win. Let's figure out how I can win and you could win at the same time, which I believe is a quality of the divine feminine. also the divine feminine favors leading by bringing people together. And it favors intuition and trust. And it favors focusing on what's right and not what's wrong. And I believe that the male-female lines are becoming blurred. Yay. And the last thing I want to share, the other day I was on a call with a few friends, and the marvelous Jean Houston, one of the great thought leaders of the past several decades, was on the call. And she was talking about Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And she said that Dorothy was the archetype of the divine feminine. She pointed out that even though Dorothy was on a mission to find her way home, and she wanted that more than anything, she still stopped along the way and helped everyone that she bumped into. The Tin Man to find a heart, the Scarecrow for a brain, the Lion for courage. And she stood up for the underdog. When the lion was being teased, she didn't back down, but she said to the monkeys, pick on someone your own size. And when the Munchkins told her she had killed the witch, she said, I didn't mean to kill anyone. But later on, when the other witch was preventing her and her friends from getting what they came to Oz for, she killed that sucker and she grabbed that broomstick. So she is definitely the archetype of what we all can be when we live those qualities of the power and the compassion of the divine feminine. All we have to do is ask, how do we bring the power of the heart into our own lives at every moment, every day? Because in order to heal the world, we need to heal ourselves first. And it starts with contacting the source of silence within through our meditation. And on the basis of that silence, stop being hard on each other. Stop seeing each other as threats. No one is a threat to you but yourself. It's your thinking about someone else that's a threat. We first have to do our own work. Why am I envious of that woman? Why am I jealous? Why am I being a mean girl right now? Why don't I want that other woman to succeed? Use self-reflection and be willing to not be right, not to blame, not to shame, not to justify. We all need, and myself included, I am not preaching to you, I am preaching to myself. We need to do the inner work to heal ourselves and embody the qualities of the divine feminine. Not like a pebble in the water, the effects will affect our family, our friends, our coworkers, our community, our worlds. In other words, we need to be the change.
Amazing.
Amen.
No, actually, a woman.
A woman.
A woman.
When I'm talking, I feel like maybe I missed my calling. Maybe I should have been like an evangelistic preacher.
No, every time you speak, Debra, you never ever speak about the same thing. You've always got a really interesting story. And, I think I said this to you. I was really hoping that maybe Daniel could come, and there will be an opportunity where I'd love actually you and Daniel to be in the same room and actually live together, because I think what a great way to showcase the power of living your values, right? I mean, stepping back for 19 years to raise your family, how many women have done that for their kids? And they're lost in that. And I love the fact that you, during that time, and you being a strong female in that time, were able to guide your son, and you empowered him to be his own person. So you spent that time with your kids and you empowered them into their own greatness. And now you and he, I see this. Have you been on a stage together yet? Together?
We have not.
There is going to, and I thought this could be this time that you and he could be on that stage. So we're going to have to create another opportunity where you are both on that stage together, because I truly would love to see that. I think that's just fantastic. There's so many things that you say, and you lead by example, Debra, and you talk about giving. Do not judge. You just never know where that person's going to be. And I have to say, ignore the naysayers, because the ones that don't support you, you don't support. Support the ones that support you.
That's right.
And fiercely. As women, we need to rise each other up. We can't judge. We can't say, oh, you know, we can't pick at them. It's hard enough as it is to do what you do every single day. So I love your message about, you know, paying it forward and not judging, because the story with Marcy, actually, I was going to go grab that book. You and I met. And I'm going to go a little bit longer because we don't have anybody in the green room yet. We're waiting for Tracy to come into the green room. So maybe Tracy's dancing on the other stage as well. So I just
if I know Tracy, she is dancing.
Dancing in the other room and you're not in the meeting room, you should have already been let in. So exit out because you're in the audience dancing where Debra was dancing. So you're going to have to go back into the main room because that will be the link. So I'll have my tech team reach out to her and make sure that she's got the right link. But I want to go back. Oh, hello, Tracy. This is Debra. Debra, this is Tracy. You're not all live yet, but you can see each other. So Debra, just wrapping up, I just want to say that you lead with example. I'm super happy that you've taken this time out of your extremely busy schedule. And for those people that tell me, I'm sorry, I don't have time, it's like Jill says, it's a bullshit excuse. It is an excuse. And own your excuses, right? You do have time. We make time for things that are important to us. And right now, as the world has changed for everybody, I guarantee you, if you have helped support somebody during this time, they will remember. If you have not supported somebody during this time, they will also remember. So great words of wisdom. I love Marcy to pieces. And when you and I connected 4 years ago, you were standing right in front of me. And as soon as you said Marcy and your connection, I mean, I just felt so incredibly connected from that very moment. And I still have, I'm going to tweet out that picture because I have it. I was holding the book and I was embracing you, and I was a mess because you are one of my idols.
I can't believe we have only known each other for 4 years. I feel like I have known you forever. That is mind-blowing.
Soul sisters. And when we attract, and what I think is so powerful with our network, Debra, is that we attract like-minded. And of course, the courage, the confidence, commitment, integrity, the value system brings us together.
I just have to tell you this one thing. So, you know, the other story that Marcy and I started this company, Your Year of Miracles, and for 5 years, we had a blast. We created magic. And then I decided to move on because I wanted to go back to teaching Yes to Success. And people always say, well, how does Marcy feel now that you're launching Yes to Success again? I said, are you kidding? She sent me the biggest bouquet of flowers. I wish I had them here, that I should have brought them in, that I had ever seen. And every few minutes, she's sending me texts. How are you doing? I have my pom-poms out. I'm your cheerleader. So that's how we support one another, okay? And Janet Atwood, also founder of the Passion Test. When I first started Yes to Success, she became my first trainer. I trained her to be my first trainer. And when I came out after being a mom at the other end, she got me also one of my first speaking gigs. And I said to her, Janet, but what we teach is so close, you know, success. And I teach about discovering your passion. I said, what if, because she invited me on a stage. I said, what if they love me more than they love you? She goes, that would be awesome. Because we know that there's infinite good in the universe. And like the ocean, if I take a spoonful of water, I'm not taking anything away from Janet or from Marcy. And we support each other. And that's one of the reasons why we are as successful as we are, because we know there's plenty of success to go around for everyone. But surround yourself with your cheerleaders, not the members of the discouragement committee.
Well, Debra, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I know that we're going to send out a link. You've got an amazing offer. So in our wrap-up email today for the participants, and to all the participants over the 2 days, because we have left our entire conference open, because of course we have replays. So we have these great big nuggets of wisdom that we're able to offer over 2 days, 34 speakers and a roundtable. Hello. So you can sign up and go, oh my God, I was busy for the 2 days and I forgot. That's okay. We'll take you. And then you get the replays for everything. So we're going to make it super easy. That will go out to everybody. So let's circle back, make sure we've got the right link for your offer. And I'm so grateful. Congratulations on your success. And I look forward to seeing you launch this amazing Yes for Success 2020. Thank you, Debra.
Thank you, sweetheart. Have a great rest of the conference.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, super exciting. We are off to a fabulous start this afternoon. Wasn't Debra amazing? And it looks that Tracy is here in the house. Tracy.